What do you do with your time? Okay, that's a crucial. I remember when we used to grow up, and I used to, just like a young boy, going out to just be with my friends. And one of the greatest dilemma that we used to have, including me, can you believe that I used to be just like that? One of the greatest dilemma I used to have is, what do I do with my time? Okay, when somebody else has planned your time for you, that was kind of simple. You have to go to classes, you have to go to school, so that is planned out for you. But when you kind of have a free time, and you don't, and then you have to plan it yourself, because when you don't have purpose, when you don't have goals that you are pursuing, when you are living a goalless and a purposeless life, it becomes a dilemma. Then you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do with your time because you are not pursuing purpose. You are not living for purpose or for goals. So you begin to wonder what you are supposed to do with your time, and you think that there's so much time to waste, and that's exactly what we do. We waste time. We kill time, but today it's just funny to me that people don't find what to do. And so that is why I think this teaching is so crucial. And being a victim of lack of direction myself, being a victim myself of not knowing what to do with my time, I think an important area to dabble into, and a topic that is needed to be treated, so that I and you, we all could find out what do we do with our time. But we started this teaching by talking about people who got fired from their jobs, or people who are completely jobless, and people who are unemployed. And I said that's one of the greatest things that could happen to you. So let's go back to that and trace our steps from there on. So let's say you got fired from your job. One of the greatest dilemma that you are going to face is, what do I now do with my time? What do I now do with all this time that is available to me? But that's supposed to be the easiest thing, actually, the easiest part of it. If if you get the nitty gritty of this teaching that I've been giving for the past few days now, and if you also master what I'm about to tell you today, so knowing what to do with your time, easy. It's the easiest thing that could ever happen to you. So what do you do with your time after you are fired? Or what do you do with your time after you lose your job? Or what do you do with your time when you are unemployed? What do you do with your time when you are alone? What do you do with your time when there is nothing to do? What do you do with your time when, you have all day doing nothing? What do you do with your time? That is one crucial question that every human is supposed to answer themselves. Everybody must be able to answer that question quite easily, and everybody must be able to actually live it out and know exactly what to do with their time. Everyone must be able to know what to do with their time. Everyone must be able to actually make their time productive. So, number one principle, what do you do with your time, is time must be converted into product. That's the general principle, that every minute, time comes in seconds and minutes, all right? So you don't have time like a year. You don't have time like, maximum you have a day, but no more. You don't have a month. You don't have a year. You don't have 10 years. You only have seconds, days, maybe seconds, minutes, a day. That's how you should consider time. That is how you should view time. The maximum allowance you should give to time is that time comes in a day package. But that's not bad. But it's better to lower the assessment of time and to begin to view time as something that comes in seconds, and begin to view it as something that comes in minutes, and as something that comes in hours, and maybe days. So time comes in minutes, seconds, minutes, hours, days. And so when I'm saying that time must be converted, what I'm talking about is minutes must be converted. Seconds must be converted. Minutes must be converted. Hours must be converted. And days must be converted. So what does that mean? Let's start with a day. to convert a day, to know what to do with time is to convert a day. And to convert a day is to produce a product. So the assessments, the way you assess yourself is, if you are a good time manager and a good time investor, is to assess yourself by the product that you produce that particular day, that particular hour, or those particular hours, those particular days, or that minute, that second. Because time comes in seconds, time comes in minutes, time comes in hours, time comes in days. So, to be productive, to be effective, and to live a life of understanding and wisdom is to not to waste time. So if I don't waste time, what do I do with time? I invest time, because you either waste time, or you spend time, or you invest time. If you waste time, you don't even get anything for it. You don't get compensated for it at all. You just throw it in the garbage. You don't even know what happened. That's what happens when you waste time. But when you spend time, you at least know that time, you remember what you did with that time. Maybe you say, okay, that time was when you went to work, and you at least could see some compensation. So maybe when you spend your time at work, you spend your time giving your time out to work, then you are compensated a little bit. So you are selling out your birthright a little bit, but at least you have something for it. You have some porridge to get in exchange for your life. Can you imagine when you give out? I will always keep on going back to my example. This is your life. You remember? If you've been following me, you remember this is life. Not the jar, but the content that is inside. Not your body is your life. It's not your body that's your life. It's not the jar that is the life here. It's the content inside. Just like this jar, that's how your body is. But that, just like you have the water inside, that is how you have life inside. And that content you have inside goes away. So when you go to work, you work for 10 years, this much is gone. But you get some little salary, some little compensation for it. That is spending. You have just spent it. It's gone. But the same thing happens when you waste it, when you don't do anything, when you just live, you just walk around. It's gone. So you also spend it when you just go to school, or you go to church, or go to religious activities, or you don't have anything to show for it. But you remember I was going to church, I married, I have children, doing some mundane things that just, your time is just going, the last 10 years I've been married, or the last 10 years I've had my children, or I've been a Christian for 20 years. You remember that spending. You remember what happened, what you did, but you can't see the product, you can't see the reward, you can't see the fruits of what you have spent those years on. That is spending. But when you invest it, you don't lose it. You don't lose it like this. When you work, it's gone. And you are just becoming old. That's the only thing you notice. And when you spend it with your just family and life, mundane things of life, it's just getting older. You're becoming grandmother, grandfather, and there's nothing to show for it. You have some children running about, but, they live their own life. They are gone, and you are just left by yourself. But when you invest in life, you are multiplying it. You are producing. When you are investing life, you've invested in another one. You have reproduced yourself. So even though this one is going down, but this one is rising, then another one, you are being fruitful. You are being fruitful. And then you are being multiplied, because you are investing your life in your destiny, in your purpose, in your calling. Beautiful life. And that's the kind of life I want to teach you how to live. And that's the kind of thing I want to show you what you do with time, with your time. I want to show you what you do with your time I want to show you how to live such a life of investment on a daily basis. What we are talking about is, since life is in time, life is in seconds, minutes, and hours, life is in time. To waste time is to waste life. To lose time is to lose life. So when you're just living your mundane life and just walking around the world and just sleeping and waking up and chatting on telephone and just do anything, you are wasting life. Drinking and all that, you are wasting life. But when you are working and getting some salary, you are spending, it's going, it's gone. That's it. It will never come back. That's one thing with time. It will never come back. You're wasting it for salary. At least you got some salary, you got some, so you have a car that you need to change, and you need to work more for. You have a house that you need to even work more for to maintain and all that. But at least you're spending it and you are seeing some little compensation. But you are not multiplying your life. So for you to know that you are, what do you do with all the time? Let's say you have the time now and you have some free time. What do you do with your time so that it's not wasted? And what do you do with your time so that it's not just spent? What do you do with your time so that it's well invested? So that's what we're talking about. For you not to waste your life, not to waste your time, you must first of all begin to look at life and time correctly. And to see life and time correctly is to assess life as seconds, minutes, hours, and maximum days. A day. So you want to maximize life, or you want to maximize time, means for you to maximize time and maximize life means that you want to make sure every second of the day that comes, every minute of the day that comes, and every day that comes is converted into some value. Every second is converted into some product. Every second, every minute is converted into some investment. So you must live a life of self-consciousness all the time. To be conscious of what you are doing right now. Right now, am I wasting life? Am I wasting time? Right now, am I converting life? Am I converting time? Right now, am I investing my time? What am I doing now? What is the consequence this is going to have? What is the product this is going to give me? What are the services I'm producing? What is the value I am adding to myself? Am I adding value to others? Am I investing in myself? So the way to control your life is this. Get this straight. Every minute you live, maybe you are in church, ask yourself, why am I here? My being here, what product is that giving me? Because some of us just go to church like dummies. Every week, or every day, every day. Like just dummies. Because that's just the tradition. But remember what Jesus said about tradition? Because of your tradition, you have made the power of God of no effect. Tradition, things you do just emotionally, things you do just instinctively, things you do just customarily, things you do without thinking them through, things you do without analyzing them, things you do without pragmatic approach to them. You just go through the motions, autopilot. The things that you do in autopilot automatically, just because this is what the whole country does, or just because this is what the culture does. Sunday you must go to church. But could you have to ask yourself, could I use that time? Could I have used those hours for something more productive? Okay, but this is God. I'm going to church. This is God. Are you sure that that's the only way you could serve God, to go to church? When you go to church, you don't really serve God. When you go to God, you are supposed to go to God to invest in yourself. When you go to God, you are supposed to either to go to God to invest in people or to invest in yourself. But most times when we go to God, we don't invest in ourselves because we already know all the things there. We just go there to just feel good, or to just, you're not investing in yourself. But what about that 3 hours or 2 hours or 4 hours of the day that you are going to church? You can go to church once a week, maybe 2 times a week, but you not even need to. If you can find something else you can do to bring more glory to God. If you could find, for example, let's say, and I say, if I stay home on this Sunday and do my research, or go to the library and work on this my project, or go to the laboratory and do my research and perfect my job, if I find the cure for cancer just by working every weekend, by working every day instead of going to church, but having a personal relationship with God on my own, loving God, growing in Him, having fellowship with my family, with my friends and things, but when I have time, when it works out for me. But when I need to do work, I am doing my work. And it could be Sunday, it could be any day, and I'm just, investing myself into bringing out a product. A product, for example, that will resolve the traffic problem in my city or in my country. A product, for example, I'm working on coming up with a formula to resolve the corruption problem in my country. Or a product that will bring about some medical cure or some medical breakthrough. If that will bring more glory to God, my dear. That will bring much more glory to God than 10 years of going to church and having nothing to show for it. That will bring more glory to God or than just, going through the motion and doing what everybody is doing without me having anything to show for it. You are killing your life. At least when you spend your time and waste your time and, at your work, at least you are getting compensated for it. At least you are getting something little. You are selling your birthright, but at least you are getting some porridge. But when you are going to religious activities from morning till night, even no porridge, the only thing, maybe you get some goosebumps sometimes. But those goosebumps disappear as soon as you walk away from that church. But if you go to church, on the other hand, and that church will encourage you like this, will put fire in you, give you understanding, give you insight, give you picture of how to do things better, equip you, put fire in you, give you more ideas on how to create your how to fulfill your mission faster, on how to bring about the destiny that God has put into you. It make you to see God's purpose faster. Will make you to see clearly into the Spirit of God, into the mind of God. Will make you to walk in more understand. If the church is doing that to you, of course you have to go there almost every day even. You have to go there as many times as possible because it's giving. You can see that it's adding value to you. You can see what you are getting from it. So if a church is doing that to you and the thing is giving you is much more better, comparable to what you would have given yourself at that particular time, that means you are maximizing your time. That means you are working in wisdom. So it has to be comparable analysis. It has to be comparable analysis. You have to do value analysis. You've got to analyze this time. If I use it to write a whole book, okay, for example, I will stay back at home today and write a book, even though today is Sunday. God said, don't be under tradition. Don't let anybody control you by days or by the tradition of men. Sunday, Saturday, Sabbath, Jesus is our Sabbath. It's not about a day anymore. Christ is our Sabbath. So I'm in Christ. I have a relationship with Christ. Don't let day be your control factor anymore. Don't let people manipulate you with that anymore. So if I stay at home every Sunday, for a whole month or 2 months, and I write a whole book, I have reproduced myself. I've not wasted that time. I have not spent that time, but I've reproduced. I have invested that time in another. My time is going, which means my life is going, but it's not just going away somewhere to work, at work, or to disappear somewhere. It's been invested in another form. It's producing a product. I'm reproducing. And then it's going to be multiplied. So I can show you what I've done on my Sunday. My life is being multiplied and blessing more people. But if I just go there to go and be sitting there every Sunday, every week, and I don't see anything I do with it, you are a fool. That is what we do. That's why I don't go to parties. That's why I don't go to birthday parties, wedding parties. If I go, only if it is so needed. And if I go, I want to run away from there as fast as possible. Because I'm thinking, what value can I produce? Comparative comparisons, value comparisons. What value will I be producing this time? If I had used this time, if I had spent the time to read books, I would have added to myself more value. If I had spent that time to study, I would have added value to myself. If I had spent that time to write, to research, to bless other people, to give to people, I see that I would have duplicated myself. The way to maximize time is to always ask yourself, to always be in the here and now, not just living like you are floating through the air and you are just living an abstract life. Nobody sees what is happening. You don't even know. You are just, today is another day. Oh, okay. It's night already. Time is going. But you are not an animal. You are not an animal. You are not. You're supposed to be Homo sapiens. You're supposed to be Homo sapiens. And Homo sapiens is thinking man. The Bible says we must maximize the time because the time is short. Every day of your life must be converted. Converted to some product. Show me the product of your day today. Show me the product of your life, of your day, of your hour. Show me the product of your life in the past 1 month, in the past 1 week, in the past few days. What are the values you have created? Where's your value chain? How do you produce value? How do you create value for yourself on a daily basis? Thank God I'm coming now to do this program for you. At least you can point to that as your own value chain, that you are adding value to yourself every day, 2 times a day. That is good. You are building yourself. You are adding value to yourself. You are making yourself better, but not just to add value to yourself. Then it must turn around so that you convert that value you are adding to yourself through my teachings into value added to others, or into value added to products, or into produce products. The evidence of the fact that you are being blessed and values are being added to you by what you hear me say is what you do with them. Are the products you produce, are how big you become inside, or how much vision comes to you, how your lifestyle changes, and how you begin productive, how you become productive, how productive you become is a proof that you've been listening to me. And if you cannot see yourself produce anything, it means you need to spend more time, dedicate more time, invest more time to make the thing get into you, to invest more time into understanding, into purifying, removing all the junks that were in you, to get the new content, to take a hold of your spirit until you begin to live it out. Let me tell you my story. By the way, if you have not shared this link yet, go ahead and share the link. Because this is going to bless a lot of people. So go to your timeline and look for the share button. Go share that link. Go share the link. My story goes like this. I just somehow intuitively knew that my life is supposed to produce some measurable, tangible products. I kind of sensed that I must do something with my life. I think every human being is sensing that. And I think every human being probably knows that in their subconscious somewhere there. They would like to do something with their lives. I think everybody knows that. Everybody feels that they would like to add value. They would like their lives to be meaningful. They would like their lives to bring forth some result. They would like their lives to be of benefit to humankind somehow. I think every human being thinks about that. So the way when I was in my 20s, I used to measure my life by every year that passes. So I would say, okay, today is my 23rd birthday. I was still in the university. I'm 23 years old, and I want to do something between now, this birthday of 23 years, and 23, and when I'm 24. So I want to do something in my birthday within that year, so that when I'm now 24 years old, I could say, yes, this is the product my life has produced within this year. So that was a good start for me. That was a good start for me. And that start was measuring my life by a year, by what my life has been able to produce in a year. So I will say, okay, I was 23 last year, and now I'm 24, and I'm looking hard because I was not purposeful in producing any fruit or any result or any product. I was just hoping that something good will happen. So I will try to remember what is the good thing that has happened within that year. And I will go back and say, okay, thank God I'm able to find something. At least I was able to do this thing. Maybe I was able to read books. I was able to go from one class to the other. Or I used to even measure my life by saying I'm still a Christian. Foolishness in the mind of foolishness. No product to prove. No proof of my life. I just spent a year and I couldn't even find anything to point to. And the highest thing I could point to is that I was still a Christian. Oh yeah, I just passed. Or maybe I could only say, I've just been promoted. I've just moved from second year in university to third year in university, or to fourth year in university. Or I finished my master's, or I finished my first degree, which is just automatic. You don't even need to just wake up in the morning, go to class, and click on exam. That's no product. Besides, that is just rubbish, because a product like that is not even a product in the first place. The product is supposed to be something that is supposed to be coming, if not even every year, but much more often than that. And what you are supposed to intentionally produce, not just something that happens just because you are waking up in the morning and sleeping at night. It's just like a dog or a cat or a pig or some birds that just wake up and things just happen automatically. These are just automatic. You've not done anything. You've not intentionally produced anything with your life. Which means your life keeps on reducing, pouring out your life, and it keeps on reducing. You see, it's going, and you don't have any product. It's being wasted or being spent away without any product, without any result. What's that? Malay. So without any result. So it's just a waste life. So my life used to be just like that. My life just used to be just like that. Until I began to, thank God, I began to think more and grow more and discover more about life. And that was the point that I got to a place where I started to intentionally make sure that I really produce something within a year. So I started measuring my life with the product that I'm able to come with within a year time span. So the question I have for you is that, do you have any product that you could point to every year of your life, or let's say the last year, that this is the result, this is the product that my life has produced, and not just produced automatically because I got pregnant, I gave birth to a child. I mean, dogs get pregnant and give birth to children. Cats, all of them do. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what you, your Homo sapiens, you as a human being, what you have intentionally purposed, goal that you have set, attained, and the result you could show for it. So, to cut a long story short, I got to that place. I think at the age of 25, I started saying, okay, I started producing a concrete result, concrete fruit, concrete product that I could show that, okay, I'm 25 this year. By the time I'm 26, this is what my life has produced. And I used to be very happy. I used to be so happy that I've not lived in vain. I mean, see what my life has produced. Even though it was not big enough for anybody to say it, it was not big enough to be a great achievement, to be something to be proud of. But I could see it myself. I could see that I saw something that I did, my life produced for myself. Then I kept on maturing and striving and adding value to myself and getting myself educated until I got to a place and an understanding whereby I could now measure my life to and engage it and direct it and actually organize my life in such a way that I started producing. Because it just occurred to me one day that, wow, if I could intentionally set a goal and a target to have a product and a result to show for my life within a year, hey, I just discovered that instead of I produce this result and I just wait till next year and I just, rejoice and I wait and I hope another thing will come up. If I become more purposeful like this and pursue more and strive more and work harder, maybe I could actually have two products in a year. So I graduated from having one product to show for a year spent on earth until I started having two products in a year. So that means for 6 months of my life, I had a product. Then for another 6 months of my life, I had another product. That was another stage of my life that I could show that my life has produced within a year two products. Then I went to a place when I could have three products, that my life could produce three products in a year. Then I went to a place when I discovered that, wow, 4 products in a year. So I'm asking you this question, whoever is listening to me today. Where are the products of your life? Have you actually started living a productive life yet? Is there anything you could point out? Apart from the instinctive things of life, like sleeping with a woman and getting her pregnant and she just, Like I said, every dog can get pregnant if they sleep with something. Every cow can get pregnant. And we are not talking about instinctive things that just work out by law of nature. We are talking about concrete fruits, concrete results, definite purposes. Could you take an inventory of your life? Could you begin to live an intentional life? Do you have some goals and targets of what you want to do in life, what you want to contribute? Even the little things that you could convert your time to. Maybe you need to start by yearly assessment or bi-yearly assessment. But your life, but the goal really should be to get to a place whereby you could say every day of my life is being converted to a product. You see, I started out by saying every year of my life was being converted to a product, and it was a big success in my life and a big joy. Then I went to a place of converting my year into 2 products. Then I went into converting my year into 3 products. Then I went to converting my year into 4 products. To cut a long story short, God helped me just by seeking and searching and by working on myself and by training myself and disciplining myself and living by these same principles I'm telling you right now. Not just doing things because everybody is doing them. Not just living under the pressure of the environment, society, and culture and tradition. Not just by going to some churches and not knowing anything to do for it, not having any result, not having, and just doing things just like as if you are a robot, as if you are being controlled and manipulated by other forces outside of you. But living a life with God, having unity with God, intimacy with God, finding out His mind, His will, and His purpose for you, discovering what you could do with your life, empowering yourself, adding value to yourself, getting knowledge and wisdom, and thinking how you could maximize the time you have through hard work, through concentration, through searching, through researches, and through, just producing something, through your skills, through your profession, through your knowledge, through things you have, making sure that you intentionally bring out result. Not just doing things because you are religious. Your life, your Christian life, is supposed to be about your personal relationship with the Lord. It's supposed to be about you and you alone. It's supposed to be about you and Him alone. Not you and church or something. Church and organization or some people. It's just supposed to be you and you alone. We are in a race, my dear. Life is a race. You are racing against time. And your race, let me show you what your race is. Your race is your diminishing life. Either you like it or not, your life is passing. Even if you don't do anything, it's still going down. Your life is disappearing. Either you are aware, you recognize it or not, your life is still disappearing. It's pouring out, it's disappearing. So the race we are in is racing against this disappearing life. Instead of it just disappearing, being wasted or being spent, you are racing against making sure that it is being converted, making sure that it is being actually invested, making sure that every minute that is passing, every second that is passing is being converted into something, it's being wasted, it's being invested. That is the race you are in. You are in race against time. You are in race against seconds. You are in race against minutes. You are in race against every hour not being lost. You are fighting. You are in a race of fight that no hour is lost, that every hour is invested somewhere, either in value added to yourself or in value added to others or in product that you are producing that must, change the world or promote the kingdom of God, or the value of the product that must be visible, that must be tangible, and you could show to other people and to the world. So you are in a race against your diminishing life, your disappearing minutes, your disappearing hours, your disappearing seconds. So the race is there. The thing will not just disappear into thin here. It's a battle of not allowing that your seconds, those your minutes to just disappear into thin air. Not allowing your life just fly out of your own arms. Not allow your life to just disappear into some abstract mirage. You are in a race of converting it into value provided to yourself, into value provided to others, into value provided in a product form. You are in a race against your disappearing life. And the thing is, that race must be yielding. If you win when you are able to convert all this disappeared time or the disappeared life, when you succeed in converting them to a product, when you succeeded in converting that time into an investment, when you are able to convert that into your own land, into seeds or plants or trees or fruits of products in your own land, of tilling your own land, or products in other people's lives, values in you, others, and life, visible products. When you are able and when you succeed in showing the real product that this disappeared life has produced, that's when you are winning life. That is when you are winning against the race. That is when the race is going your direction. My story has a happy ending. And the happy ending that I have is that I got to a point when I began to realize that I could produce. Once I started producing 4 products in a year, that means one product a quarter. It made things up easy for me. It just made me to know that I decide my discipline, how much I'm able to discipline myself to cut off all unwanted things, how much I'm able to cut off all distractions, how much I'm able to cut off all triviality and frivolity around me, how much I'm able to put my friends down, because I used to be a people guy. I'm still a people guy, but I used to just spend time with everybody, want to make everybody happy and all that, and that was what took a lot of my life. Because it's one thing if you are purposefully spending time with people, like I'm doing with you now. I'm purposefully spending time with you. Or when I talk to people, I'm purposefully we are talking about things that could improve them, or things that could improve me. We are talking about things that could improve our world. We are purposefully adding value to each other, or sharpening each other, or improving each other. We are talking about, we are purposefully spending time to better ourselves, to improve ourselves, to improve the world, to improve each other. But with those days, I used to just spend time just to spend time, just to make people be happy, and not for people not to think bad about me. And I see that there's no product, there's no result. I mean, like now I don't even carry telephone, because people just call you from nowhere. You just the ability to get rid of your phone. I mean, thank God I've gotten rid of television 20 years ago, for 20 years now. So thank God that it's not a big distraction. But just the ability to not to waste that time. There's so much pressure is on all of us to waste that time, to just trivialize it. For you not to even know how your life is disappearing. For you not to even be told. For you not to even think about it, that your life is disappearing gradually. And that you are left only with much. You are left only with so much. And you are not being told. Nobody tells you about that. And can you imagine if I had been mentioning my life just by 1 year? So it means that, let's say I started by 25. It means the next 25 years I will only produce 25 products. Can you imagine if I had been mentioning my year purely by 1 product a year? Whereby I could have mentioned my life by 1 product a day. 1 product a day. So later on, my story continued, and I said, I'm going to turn my life into producing a product a month. A month. I will have a product, a visible product in a month. I must have a product in a month. Either they are going to be products of saved people, or they are going to be products of leaders raised, or they are going to be products of churches built, or they are going to be products of organizations started, or they are going to be problems resolved, or they are going to be products of books written, or they are going to be products of books read, or they are going to be products of my growth level, my understanding level, my connection, relationship, on another level, influence level. There must be different things that you want to measure your results with. And the best way is to find out your callings, your giftings, and convert your gift and convert your calling. If you have missed out on the how to find your calling and your gifting and your purpose, I will not be repeating those things anymore. I have a whole series on how to discover your calling, your gifts, your purpose, and your destiny, your purpose in life, your destiny in life. How to discover that is I've already finished those series last week. So go to my blog, sundayadelajablog.com, and go to the video blog there, and you'll see the series. You should go through that so that you know what to focus on, what area, what gifts to focus on, and how to discover those gifts. They have already been analyzed and illustrated. And if you don't have this book, I also have that in my book here, Who Am I? Why Am I Here? You can get it on Okada Books if you're in Africa, or you can get it on Amazon, or Smash Books or something like that, Smash something. So anyway, the link is right here in this comment here. We put the link already here. So what I'm saying is, be intentional and be purposeful in the area and in what, where I'm bringing forth products might not be where you want to bring. Maybe God wants you to bring forth products in resolving medical issues or discovery, or in computer industry or smartphone industry, or in the area of the economy, or in the area of science, or in the area of politics, or your own calling. So you measure it. You get a whole list of whatever you want to do with your life and what you feel God is calling you to do. So to cut a long story short, if you hear that I write books every month, I'm not writing just book every month. At least I try to produce through my system. I've set a system in place that I produce 5 books, minimum 5 books a month. So that is product right there, because you have multiplying myself in 5 different products every month now. So I've gotten to a place whereby for me to produce a product in a month is no more a target, because in a month I influence so many people. I produce products and result now, not on monthly basis, not even on daily basis. I'm producing results on hourly basis. So for example, 1 hour is what I'm spending with you right now. That hour is I'm reproducing myself in you. I don't know you. I've never met you. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you're watching from, but I am adding value to you. So that is just 1 hour of my life, and we'll see how much result that is producing right there in all different countries, maybe 100 countries at the same time. Just 1 hour. You see how much result it's producing. And if you listen to me for 1 hour, you will see the difference. You will know that this is not just an ordinary person talking. And also, other things, I make sure that 3 hours a day, I also add value to myself by listening to messages. So by doing self-education, 3 to 6 hours a day. If I don't study a day, if I don't do anything a day, I will do 3 hours of self-education and adding value to myself for 3 hours a day. But I go beyond that sometimes. If I really have time, I can spend up to 6 hours a day just producing products in myself. Because that's what makes me to be valuable. That is like going to the laboratory and do research and find out ways to do things and make yourself better so that you could produce better results. So then apart from that, I still have my books that I'm writing. Apart from that, I have people that I'm raising to teach how to write books, to teach, how to become pastors, how to, there are so many products that I'm producing on daily basis right now. And so my life now, because life is so short and day is so short, even though we have 24 hours, but we're only left with like 16 hours because you sleep 8 hours, so to say. So 8 hours is gone. Then another 8 hours is, you bath, you eat, you go to restroom, toilet, you spend time with your family. Another 8 hours goes for that. Maybe not 8 hours, but 4 to 5 hours. And then you are only left with like 10 hours or 12 hours. So, and so you must really, so if you are productive for 3 hours, if you can eke out 3 to 4 hours a day to have 3 products a day, that is a very high caliber of productivity. So if you can at least, but let's start with a day. No, let's even start with a month. You can put yourself a target to have a product, to have a product in a month. Okay, but maybe if you are starting afresh, you could start at least, let's start with a year. To be determined to have at least one concrete product you could have in a year. Then you could go from there and have a product, maybe 2 products in a year, like I did, 3 products, 4 products in a year. Then from there, maybe one day God could help you to have a product every quarter. And if you could have one product in a quarter, then one day you'll be able to have a product every month. If you could live such a life that every month of your life you will be able to point to a product, you are going to be one of the most effective human beings on earth. And that's why I said that one of the greatest things that could happen to you is for you to lose your job. Because then you are not bound. You are not bound under bondage. You are not enslaved by that work. You are not limited. You can actually decide what to do with your life. And you can decide what product each one of your passing day, each one of your passing life will produce. So you can actually monitor your passing life and be in control and be in charge and make sure that you are actually converting every passing day into something and you are not regretting. That is how to live the life without regret, a life without regret. That is how to live a life without regret, my friends. That's how to live a life without regret. Measure your life by the products, by the results you produce, by the value you added.